Hi, everyone. This is Kathleen Dorsey. I am the COO of the Northwest Chamber of Commerce here in the Owings Mills area. I am happy to have Bob Frank with me today. Bob actually has a very deep history with our chamber when it was named something else, the ROMG Chamber, a long time ago. And I wanted to introduce you to Bob. He was part of a firm that helped to sponsor our annual crab feast this year. And I just thought it was a time for everybody to get to know Bob a little bit. So Bob, would you like to describe, who you are and what your law firm specializes in and what areas that you serve? You can take it from there.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Kathleen. I really appreciate this opportunity as a two-time past president of this organization. I am devoted to the chamber and think you guys do a tremendous benefit for our community and for our businesses, and I appreciate that. As a lawyer who has been in the community for over 4 decades, the chamber has been wonderful to me. I own Santo Domingo and Associates, which is a statewide law firm. We have offices obviously here in Reisterstown, but we also have an office in Baltimore City and an office in Laurel. I personally have practiced in every jurisdiction in the state, from Ocean City to Oakland in the West, and every spot in between. And I love it. My clients have been as varied as Fortune 500 companies, where I was representing them on a multi-million dollar litigation dispute, to local sports franchises, major league sports franchises, I should say, to some of your neighbors with speeding tickets. And I've done almost everything in between. You name it: criminal, traffic. We do a tremendous amount of auto accident cases, but I've also handled corporate matters. And the thing that I think makes our firm a little different is that not only do we have a lot of really talented employees, and believe me, I'm nothing without my team, but we also have resources with other people that we can reach out to, some of whom are chamber members. When we have complicated litigation in court, we'll call some of our local accounting firms and say, hey, can you do some forensic accounting for us? Can you help us to determine what the real numbers are, not the numbers that are posted on the paper? And local chamber members have been a benefit. I have been very blessed to have made wonderful relationships, both personal as friends and also professional as business alliances, with many members in the chamber, and it has served me very well over the years. So we're pretty much a full service law firm. My wife says I'm an Abe Lincoln lawyer, but at 5'7", I'm not sure that I can fit that description very well. But that's sort of what we do.
And something that I did notice is that you support Spanish speaking clients. Everything seems to be bilingual that I see posted or on your website. So, is that a true fact?
Sí, muchos clientes hablo español. I have a lot of clients that speak Spanish. I am not fully bilingual, but I can hold my own. Almost all of my staff are all bilingual, fully bilingual. They're all um, American English speakers, but all of them, from one source or another, have gained a deep understanding of Spanish. In fact, one of my team members right now today is on vacation in the Dominican Republic, so she's working her Spanish even as we speak, I'm sure. But yes, I've also, and it doesn't show on the page, but I've also had the pleasure of representing a lot of people coming from Russia, and have some resources in terms of Russian interpreting, and have a modicum of information and ability in English Sign Language. So very varied in terms of our client base.
Those are the little things that make a big difference, being able to support your clients. Tell us a little bit about your professional journey. How did you make it to where you are right now?
Well, the truth is, my professional journey makes no sense. I grew up in the area, went to school down south, and got a degree in electrical engineering. And after graduating with a bachelor's of science in electrical engineering, went ahead and applied to and got into law school. And so I went to law school. And for the last 40, almost 42 full years, I've been a practicing lawyer. and have just loved it. I love being able to help people. Sometimes it's helping them with what to you and me may seem like little problems, but to them are monumental. And other times it is litigation involving hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. I've had the pleasure of representing many professionals in this area, both in terms of business issues and also in terms of domestic issues, divorces, where the homes and the values are literally in the millions of dollars, and you've got to be ready for that to help people.
Well, and I bet you're pretty good fixing some electrical issues around the house too. That's
Well, it depends who you ask. My oldest son is an electrician, and he'll tell you that electrical engineers don't know anything. But yeah, we get things working. It's a good combination. More to the point, I have had judges in court say, "Mr. Frank, I'm going to call on you to assist with this case because, unlike most lawyers, I'm not scared of numbers. I can
Mhm.
do math, I can do algebra, I can do some calculus. I don't remember as much as I used to, but I still understand it." And so it does give me a leg up, particularly in disputes involving numbers and scientific issues. Many lawyers become lawyers because they're scared of numbers. For me, I find math fascinating and I enjoy it.
Well, that's good. Good to know. I never, all the years I've known you, Bob, I never knew that fact.
Yep.
So tell us maybe a top tip, or a few top tips that people should know to protect their rights, based on your experiences. Do you see a trend of, oh, I just wish they had known X, Y, or Z? Anything come to mind?
Well, Kathleen, the one tip that goes beyond every other tip and affects everything we do is sooner rather than later. Um, I've had many people, many friends say, I didn't want to bother you with this. It was an issue a while ago, but I didn't. No, go to your lawyer sooner rather than later. And what I mean by that is if you're having a problem, if your business is having a problem with some sort of real estate issue or an auto accident involving one of your vehicles, and you come to me once it's in litigation, once it's in the district or circuit court, and you say, Bob, can you represent us? The answer is yes, but the cost of the retainer is going to probably be $5,000 to $10,000. Whereas if you come to me when the accident happens and says, what should I do? The cost of getting involved at that stage is so much less. So many people want to try to say, oh, it'll get better, it'll go away. Well, it very well may, but getting involved early is a major, major benefit that really helps. The other thing that is very important in the law, as in any area, is get all your paperwork and bring me all your paperwork, even the stuff that you think isn't important, because those are the things that let us get a full picture of what's happening and also see some of the things that maybe other people miss. Are you being sued by a corporation that just so happens to no longer have a valid charter? Now, that's a curable problem, and I've had many clients in that situation. We can fix that problem fairly easily, but it sure throws a log in front of the other side if they're trying to roll down a hill when you tell them, hey, your corporation isn't even valid. Oh, wait, let me check. And so you just change the negotiating tenor and negotiating position right there. Little things like that makes a big difference. And so bringing me all your paperwork really helps.
Okay, so be transparent, bring everything, even though you may not think it will help, and don't wait is
Don't no,
is the big
don't
the
don't
big
wait
thing I'm
is number
hearing.
one.
Yeah,
Yes.
don't wait. Okay, well those are great tips. So when we do interviews, we like to throw in a little bit of I don't know, a slider, and we call it the fun fact time. So I just want to see, to know you a little bit more, Bob. If you weren't a lawyer today, what profession would you have wanted to be? When you were a kid or when you were in college, like what what profession would you have wanted to be?
Well, I'm going to give you three, all three of which I practice. Firstly, I love electricity and lights and sound. And my wife and I have a light and sound company. We can do that, and we do that for local theaters. And I think if I could make a living at it, that would just be fun to play with, to put people on stage and light them up and make them, give them microphones so you can hear them. The second thing, and I've been doing this for longer than I've been a lawyer, is umpiring. I umpire everything from kids baseball. I don't like to go to the little kids, but I will, all the way up to men's unlimited leagues that are literally guys who are either on their way up into trying to get into the majors or coming out of the majors. And I find baseball just a ton of fun. And then the third thing, which doesn't fit anywhere else, but I probably would be a cowboy. I own a horse
And a hat. I've
and
seen
a
the
hat.
cowboy hat, Bob.
Absolutely, absolutely. When I was 5 years old, we traveled to a place called Beaver Crossing, Nebraska, which is in the middle of the Great Plains, flat, goes on for miles. They're 60 miles outside of Lincoln, Nebraska, but at night when you look east, you can actually see in the distance the towers, the lights on top of the big tall buildings in Lincoln. That's how flat it is. And I love horses. I love riding. I have my own, and I do ride. And I keep threatening to ride my horse down Main Street for the Reisterstown Festival Parade. But I have other things that I ride during the festival parade, so we won't go there.
Maybe
But
you
yeah,
should ride your horse into the baseball games and with your cowboy hat on, Bob.
there you go. Well, I take the cowboy hat to the game, but I don't wear it during the game. But yeah, absolutely. I could take Honor with me. He's a good boy.
That is great.
Yep.
So switching gears a little bit, I love music, so I'm curious, like, what's your favorite singer or band?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you a story, and then I'll tell you my favorite band.
Okay.
When I used to have an office, well, even today, when in my office, I will play the old-fashioned CDs, and I'll do it now on Spotify or other systems. But I used to take 10 with me. I would take 3 or 4 rock and roll. I would take 2 or 3 classic music. My favorite classic music is Graffe's Grand Canyon Suite, because I don't know if you know the Grand Canyon Suite, but there's a song in that called On the Trail. And you can literally, while you're listening to the song, hear the donkey trotting along the trail and braying. I just love that suite. And then I would take a couple of Western albums, and I like both country Western and the old style Westerns. And then just whatever else fit in. And my father used to walk in my office and go, I can never tell what you're listening to because it's always changing. Now, having said all that, there is clearly one favorite, and the favorite band by far is one that I grew up with. It many of your listeners may not be as familiar with as I am, but I love Led Zeppelin. Zeppelin is
Oh,
my favorite by far, but because they combine blues with hard rock and everything in between, I love Zeppelin. So
interesting. I
I'm a
would not
Zeppelin
have
fan.
thought of you as a Zeppelin guy, Bob.
No doubt.
See,
No,
I'm
gotta be a Zeppelin.
learning so much today. And then lastly of our fun fact part, what's
Mhm.
your favorite quote?
Probably my favorite quote is, better to be silent and thought a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. And I say that because as an attorney, um, I'm in court a lot. And when you're in court, sometimes you're actually trying your case, but other times you're watching other attorneys. And the one thing that drives me absolutely crazy in court is when you're sitting there and you're watching another attorney do what I call rescuing defeat from the jaws of victory, because they ask that extra question that gets them in trouble, or they make that extra statement that just blows everything up. And the hardest thing in the world, because I'm a talker, is to sit back and shut up. But frequently, the best question I ask is the one that I never get out of my mouth, because you don't go over the line and, as I say, rescue defeat from the jaws of victory. As an attorney who likes to go to court, I'm a litigator. I like to go to court and try cases. Um, you know, the most important thing you can remember is don't ever ask a question you don't know the answer to. And that's where, if you ask that one question too many, you're in trouble. sometimes it's better to let your audience wonder than to answer the question. Let them make the connection between the two, and you'll do better.
I think your quote for rescuing is now my one of my favorite quotes. So thanks for giving that to me.
No problem.
And lastly, if anyone is looking at this and listening to you with all the years of experience that you have and thinking about getting into law, what would be some advice that you'd give that person at this time?
What I would say to somebody looking at the law is do it. Um, I'm a litigator. I like to be in court, but because I have a law degree, I don't have to be in court. I've used my law degree to teach college courses. There are lawyers who use their law degree to do real estate work and never see the inside of a courtroom. There are lawyers who do corporate work and accounting work, some of which are involved with past presidents of this chamber who are wonderful lawyers, but they don't litigate. They advise clients and they help them. And so getting a law degree is sort of like the do everything tool in the life of jobs, or the job of life. Once you have that law degree, you can go anywhere with it. You can go into politics, and yes, I'm 26 years a recovering politician because I represented this area in the House of Delegates at one time. And you can do that. You can do what I do, which is go to court all the time and litigate. But you can also sit at your desk in your office dealing with papers and paperwork if that's what gets you excited. And so it's the most universal degree that I'm aware of. Yeah, accountants have expertise, doctors have expertise, but by and large in those areas you become pigeonholed. With a law degree, you can become the CEO of General Motors or the chief operating officer, once she retires, of Reisterstown or of Northwest Chamber of Commerce. You know, that those opportunities exist for you with a law degree. It's just universally acceptable. So if you're interested in the law, do it. And the worst part of being a lawyer is literally the 3 years of getting through law school. Once you're through law school, it's wonderful. And law school is not that bad. You just can't take it as seriously as some people do.
Okay, well that's great advice. Did I kind of hear that you might be interested in the COO position? I don't know. I don't know, Frank. Bob, sorry.
I don't know the big figures that you guys deal with. I'm not sure I'm up for it, and you do a wonderful job. So,
Thank
um,
you so
no,
much.
no, I've done my stint as president of the chamber twice, and um, Kathleen, if I can mention, I am uh, still working with our committee on the Northwest Chamber Scholarship Committee, and once a year we give out a $500 scholarship to a local high school graduate, and that's renewable for 4 years. The remarkable thing about that is we started this 34 years ago, thanks to a gentleman who's still around named Gordon Hardin Jr., and we're still going strong. We are always looking for donations because if all 4 years the person who gets the scholarship takes it, it can cost up to $2,000 a year, and we need to grow our kitty. But the chamber deserves a lot of credit as one of the few organizations that not only gives a scholarship every year, but gives a 4 year scholarship, meaning if you get it this year and you continue in college for 4 years, you can get $500 every year for all 4 years. And the chamber deserves a lot of credit for that.
Well, thanks for throwing our name in there, but Bob, it's really your efforts that keep that alive. So we thank you for
Oh, well,
doing that. Just not for just our kids in our community, but just, just for the support of the families that are trying to send their kids to college. So
yep.
so I will say thank you for that. And I really do appreciate your time today and us getting to know Cowboy Bob and some of your backstory was very interesting. Once again, thank you for sponsoring our annual crab event this past year. You're always welcome to come. You're always there with smiling face. So I appreciate that. And any parting words that you'd like to say to everyone?
Just that I have been blessed over almost my entire 42 years as a lawyer to be part of this chamber. I think I started about a year after I began my practice, and the chamber has paid me back so many times more. And I'm not talking just in money, but probably in money too, than what my dues have cost me. It's a fantastic organization, and I'm very blessed to be part of it. And I really appreciate what you and Emily and our board of directors do to keep us in the on the straight and narrow and keep us representing businesses in our area.
Thanks, Bob. That's, we took on the reins after you handed them over to different people, and your leadership in the past has gotten us to where we are as well.
Thank you.
So thanks for your time, and we'll see you on riding down Main Street on your horse with your cowboy hat on.
Anytime, and anybody that needs a lawyer, give me a call. Bob
Yes.
Frank at bobfrank.com. Easiest email in the world.
Thanks, Bob.
Bye bye.